Hello, I petted the cat, so, I'm all stuffed up because it fucking thinks too cute. Sort of thing. People are complaining about my filters, which is nothing new, but for some reason I cared a little. I was thinking I'll try some new stuff. I'll keep myself clear on the theory then you can see my facial expressions. How about that? I'll do some more things like this, frames and things. So I've been thinking of a little message, for the math fails and the Cashify and the whomever wants to think that the world is just consciousness, wants to tend towards that, entertain those thoughts. It's fine. Please don't feel insulted. I thought about doing it in a math fails esque way, but then I figure I'll just try to talk straightforward and hope you still understand. Um, the thing to understand is why I identify as a materialist, given what I'm about to say. Um, in skepticism, we have a great freedom to address as if questions and what if questions. You know, what if life is a dream? What if you live as if life is a dream? Okay, if you live as if life is a dream, it doesn't change. You don't want your foot broken for the same reasons, the pain, the ramifications that we can call material ramifications, even if you are in a dream. Because they're still the ramifications, they still matter. So we're good at that. Now, I will just reveal yes, yes, okay, I just, I, I'll break the rules and tell you yes. Yes, the universe is made of consciousness. Fine. You got me. It's true. It's just that you're not ready to know that because you don't know what it really means. You have to realize a few other things before you're ready to know that. Cashify, even you, math fails. I've been leaving you some loaves of bread. Okay, I couldn't resist. Okay, one, you have to understand that and realize that animals are conscious. Creatures of animal sort are conscious. All of them. Mammals, yes. Birds, even lizards, they're conscious. You have to understand the word conscious in that sense, right? Two, you have to understand what it means to say that plants have desire. Plants desire to eat, basically, sunlight. They desire that, right? And desire, of course, is a component of consciousness, right? Now, indeed, all life forms, you must understand, all life forms to have elements of intent. Intent. All living life forms have intent. Now consciousness, okay, but intent. Or is intent consciousness? This is where the terms need to be sorted out in your mind, right? Sometimes we're using consciousness for will and intent and all interchangeably. When we start to realize that any given creature, like a single celled life form, has something like intent, something like will, but we don't really want to call it consciousness because consciousness involves the idea of knowing. Like not only do you know how to get food, but you know that you know how to get food. An extra layer or level of knowing. But you have to realize these creatures, all living creatures, express intent. they all probably have some sort of thing you might call emotion, but like like consciousness, it depends what you mean by emotion. You know, not the kind of emotion you need a central nervous system for, but the kind of emotion that you could have by releasing hormones and reacting to them, just on a slower time scale. And so finally, when you realize that the world is conscious, after is consciousness, after having all of these uh, preliminary realizations, then what you're going to have to realize is that saying that the world is consciousness doesn't mean it doesn't exist, Saying this paper cube, folded in a new way I figured out, is a part of this world. You're not saying it doesn't exist, you're saying it's consciousness, right? The photons, the photons have some element of consciousness. Now, I don't call it consciousness because they don't have brains. I consider consciousness a neurological phenomena. But they have to have some elemental part of it, some will. They're made up, you know, of it. If everything is consciousness, you don't get to say there is no material substance that interacts and exists. It's just that you're saying that it's made of will. It still exists. A photon then is not, it's like, but a photon's a bit of energy. No, we found out everything is an energy as well. No, that energy is will. That's what we found out. When you're looking at the energy, you're looking at will. That's what that would mean. If you could see all of those, okay, then you're ready to realize the universe is consciousness. And that's the same thing as it's saying that it's energy or saying that it is interacting with us.